Well, hello. My name's Doug Meadows. I'm the founder and the visionary and hero maker here at David Douglas Diamonds. And this is week 11. Wow, time is flying by. So it's March already, and the middle of March. And I wanted to share with you just a little bit about an upcoming trip that I have. As I looked back at my grandfather, and last week I talked about diamond setting and stuff, it got me really wondering and thinking about diamonds in general. I've been doing this all my life, and I can't tell you how much I learn about a diamond every day. Just when I think I've learned everything I could learn, I learn something new. I've been learning a little bit about the De Beers company. I've been learning about, when did diamonds start, and, just that whole progression of the diamond industry, and how it came into jewelry, how it came into manufacturing for drill bits and different things. And now with the advent of lab-grown diamonds, it's a whole new industry out there. But my upcoming trip, I'm heading to Africa. I actually leave tomorrow, and I will get on a flight here in Atlanta and fly to Johannesburg, South Africa. Got about a 12-hour layover there, get on another flight, and then I'll have another. So the Johannesburg flight is, I think, over 15 and a half hours or so. Then my 12-hour layover, and then then I have another 2-hour flight to get up to Zambia, up to Lusaka, Zambia. Lusaka has become a real special place to me over the years. Years ago, I worked with a friend of mine. His name's Gary Schotten, and he would do what he calls a business mission trip. We both had connections in Africa, and we wanted to introduce each other to our connections. And so we did a trip from Uganda to Kenya to Tanzania to Zambia. And on that trip, one of the things that I was doing was to teach about jewelry. And so in not just Lusaka, but in Zambia is rich with all kinds of stuff. It has tons of copper, it has gold, it has gemstones galore. We get a lot of our emeralds from Zambia, we get amethyst. I mean, we get so many things from Zambia. And so when I did my conference, I tried to get prepared best I could, and I asked, what do you want me to show you or teach you? And they said, well, we want to know a little bit about how to make jewelry and how to add value to gemstones. And this in and of itself is several weeks of a podcast, so I won't go too deep into it. Long story short, I showed them how to make jewelry. 6 months later, they were on their own, and I brought them some tools, left them some tools, and one of them was a Fordham flex shaft. And they are now making jewelry. They're probably going on their 8th year, 9th year of making jewelry. They make it out of recycled copper. Several years back, we added in gold plating to it and stuff. But, as I've traveled around the world, one of the things, I can't help myself, but I see opportunity, business opportunities. I see entrepreneurial opportunities out there. And I've always been really intrigued with that and excited about it. And it's kind of like the old adage of, teach a man to fish, don't just give him a fish. Because sometimes there's a good book out there, When Helping Hurts. You're always asked for money when you go overseas, and they always think that's the answer. Just give me some money and that'll take care of it. I explored micro lending. I explored all kinds of things to help build businesses anywhere, but my main focus has been Africa over the years, just because that's where the majority of my connections are. I've worked in Fiji and things, and tried some stuff in India, but Africa I've had probably my most success in. But so currently we down at Victoria Falls at the bottom of Zambia, next to Zimbabwe. Victoria Falls, I went down there, took my daughter on one of our trips, and she's like, "Dad, I want to go on a safari." And so I took her on a safari, and our driver, we just connected. I just had a good time with him, talked with him, exchanged numbers with him. And then when this was actually February of 2020, and so when the pandemic hit, I just really felt for the guy, and I just kind of reached out to him and just said, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" And he's like, "No." And we ended up helping to support him for a short season until all this pandemic stuff could get resolved or out of us. But then to try to get him back on his feet is like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And he goes, "Well, I'd really like to have a taxi business." And so we helped him get started in his own taxi business. And we've been doing some business coaching with him. And so part of the journey of this trip is to do some business coaching to try to see how is he doing with his business and how are things going, and help him improve his services, his offerings, his customer service, his profitability, all these different types of things that it takes in running a business. And so we'll go do that. We also, in Lusaka, we helped out a pastor get 100 chickens to help supplement his income so that he could take the eggs to market and sell them. And so we'll go check in with him and see how that's going. I'll go check in with the girls. So we have Dawn is her name. She's over in Lusaka. She's an American. She's been there probably 30 years now as a missionary in Lusaka, South Africa. And but she's, gathered up probably 12 to 15 girls out of the slums, basically, taught them a trade, and have provided a job for them. And so that's been really exciting to see that going on. She's ventured out into a variety of other things, but and then up in Uganda, we have a vocational school that we're trying to build, and the vocational school is going to teach skills on sewing and carpentry work and welding and a variety of other things. We've already graduated a couple of classes of seamstresses or sewing. I forget what they call it over there. I call it sewing, but they had a fancy term for it. But so we're just having a mini conference for 3-4 days over there of just doing some education, encouragement, and things like that. From there, I'll get back on a plane and make my way over to Sierra Leone, and over there I'll be on I'm a delegate from the diamond industry to go see where diamonds come from over there. So we're going to some of the artisanal mines up in the North Sierra Leone. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into here. I will definitely be sharing one of my week's podcasts from there and stuff, but I don't know, it should be, I'm really excited. It's been one of those things on my bucket list, is to go to a diamond mine or diamond field. I was trying to get to the one up in Canada before it closed. I know that there's one in Botswana, South Africa, and but the Sierra Leone one, for several reasons, is interesting to me. One, the movie Blood Diamond, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but if you haven't, it's an interesting movie. But, just take it with a grain of salt, because I'm sure Hollywood glorifies it. But, and this will be a whole nother topic that we'll talk about later, but the whole idea of a blood diamond and what that means and what it represents and stuff. Thankfully, all that has, that was probably 30, 40 years ago that all that was going on. And, it's all been resolved, and we have a lot of things in place to make sure that we're not funding, or that your purchase of a diamond is not funding some kind of a coup or war somewhere in this world. But I'm really excited to go visit the diggers, and then we're also going to the government offices to kind of see, the whole flow and process of once the diamond comes out of the ground, what's the next step? Where does it go, and how does it happen? And before it makes it to us here in the U.S. And so the Rappaport family is, within our industry, is a renowned name. It's a love-hate relationship in our industry, but it's. I'm really excited about meeting them, and the other thing is I never know who's going to show up on a trip like this, because this trip is opened up worldwide. It'll be a very small group of people, but there may be diamond dealers from South Africa or from Australia. There may be people from India. There may be jewelers from America. I have no idea who's all going to show up there, and but I'm really looking forward to it, and then we'll make our way back home. So I'll be doing a couple of podcasts from over there, and maybe, who knows, I'll see if I can't throw in an extra one just for giggles on it. But so until next week, stay safe and be thinking about me, and we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.